Hi. Um,
Hi.
well, we hope that this is an exciting first live on YouTube. I'm just double
It's the first
checking
time.
that everything's working because this is our
Yeah, I
very
also want
first
to check
time.
that. So let me go very quickly to YouTube.
Yeah, I'm seeing us in the on the screen. Hey everyone.
Nice.
Welcome to the first live for the deathly updates of January.
Welcome everybody. Good to have you here.
Yes. Um, we're gonna just give a couple minutes if anyone joins the YouTube live while we're here. Just to give some context, this is the very first time that we do YouTube live. I would say that just be patient with us. We're not experts at this. We're really doing our best. And yeah, for anyone in the team, you can watch this as well via YouTube. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask the developers, the directors, Jordi is here, David is here, please text it. Send us a text in the chat, and we'll be happy to read that and answer any questions, suggestions, anything that you may have for us.
I also want to apologize for my raspy voice. I've been super sick lately, uh, and I'm feeling terrible, but it's good to be here. I couldn't miss this first opportunity to do the live stream on YouTube, so yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. So yeah, welcome everyone. Let's get started. Why don't we? Maybe giving some little context of what happened last year. We already released our very first long format video devlog in December. Just giving some context on the fact that we scratched everything, and I don't know if you would like to talk a little bit about that, Jordi.
Yeah, I can do a very short introduction. Also for the people that is joining on YouTube, because this is the first time that we publish like a live session on YouTube in Animagic's account. So for all those people, like we are Animagic. We've been running a business of as an animation studio for almost 12 years now. Providing creative services for other companies, and for the past 2.5 years, we set and embarked this journey of creating our own video game, which is Stay Dead. And it has been like a very interesting and exciting and challenging process journey. We've been learning a lot, and we've been growing our team, and we've been doing what we could and our best to make the coolest game possible that we can do, right? So this past year was also very interesting. We had the opportunity to go to the GDC for the second time, where we present like a very interesting demo, and we had a lot of good insights and feedback from the people. First of all, the people loved the idea, loved the IP. They really engaged with the characters and the concept of the game. The art is beautiful, the characters are beautiful, and the animations are beautiful. So all of that, the people is super engaged with that. But one of our biggest discoveries is that because we're a very young studio in this industry of game design, we're lacking a lot of game design principles, and basically our gameplay it's lacking a lot of clarity and uh, and fun. So close to the end of last year, we had very interesting conversations with one of our advisors. His name is Kainan. He's a super kind guy. He has been working with many companies for many years and really big companies. He worked for Nintendo and Microsoft, and he has been part of the teams of creating the most exciting games that you can see out there. And based on those conversations, we really had a good sense of we should really focus on the main mechanics first and scrap all the things that could distract us, which is art and narrative and characters and all of that. So that's why we're taking this risk and we're taking this big decision of going back to the whiteboard and rethinking the main mechanics as a priority, right?
Yes.
It is not a easy decision that we made because it's always tough to go back and do steps back. but it's needed, right? Because we are very passionate about this project and we really want to create the best version of it. And if that means that we need to, scrap some of the things and rethink, go back to the whiteboard and strategize again, we will do it for sure. But right now we're very, very confident that the steps that we're taking are more leaning towards the final goal of, this beautiful project. So overall, that's a quick summary. And yeah, I think right now we will be discussing one of the main mechanics that we're focusing the most, which is, I think, one of the most important ones and could be potentially the most fun one, which is the bite. And I also want to do a quick introduction. We have here on this call the development team. In here you will see Pedro, which is one of the latest team members. He recently joined last year. We also have Victor, which also came with Pedro last year. We have Dave, which was second developer that joined the team, and then Emilio, which was the first developer. They're all super talented and they're doing amazing work building this project. So welcome everybody. And yeah, I think let's dive in. Let's talk about the bite.
Sure. Just because this is one of our first lives, I'm just gonna request a couple people to leave the call so that we have a better view of the windows. You
Yeah,
can join us on YouTube
let's
though.
yeah, let's share the link on the chat and then I can keep them up. I have the power
The
of this
power.
server.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Disconnect.
Thank you. There we have it. Awesome. So let's dive into the bite.
Cool. Yeah, so again, like everyone is free to speak at any time. Again, we already know what we did this last few months. But the bite is an interesting thing. I don't know if you guys, any one of you can mention why we're focusing on the bite, because this is a big thing. The bite is, for me, a big discovery. We used to have the bite before, but it was a completely different approach to how we're using this. So I don't know if any one of the developers want to add something.
To chime in, basically, like the name of the game is Stay Dead. The idea is to be zombies, and like to stay dead as a zombie, you should be beaten by other zombies. So like that's basically like the main theme of the game. If you think on a like more like how we say meta level idea. So this is why it's important, basically.
Yeah, that's a good summary. Yeah, the bite is, I think, is the most unique trait from a zombie. What every zombie do is like they go bite, spread their virus to other people. So that's why the bite is very, very important in our game. The way that we treated the bite before was just for one thing, which is recovering the human characters. So you go find a human character, you bite them, you turn it into a zombie, and they come back to your family unit. The interesting part is that we didn't have any depth on that mechanic, right? And I don't know if you guys remember, but we have a very long meeting one day after a few discussions with Kainen. It was a 7-hour meeting where we do a brainstorm of how can we add depth to the bite mechanic. And I can also share a little bit of what we did. We basically go to the whiteboard and start bouncing ideas, even though they were like crazy ideas. We thought that the more crazy, the better, because we don't want to limit ourselves what possibilities we can have with the bite. I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you see it?
I think we can, yeah.
All right, cool. So we did this graph here where we start with a bite and we ask ourselves, what happens if you bite an enemy? And then you go through all of this. Like you can deal damage, you can not deal damage, but you can get damaged. You can get a new status effect maybe. You can hold the button, maybe you can grab the enemy and then you release the button, you throw them. You can grab projectiles, you can grab you can attack, you can do damage, all of that. But we also think like what happened if you bite any object from the scene? What happened if you bite any hazards? So we started doing this exercise here and it was very surprising for me. I don't know if you guys agree,
Wow.
but it was a big discovery how far we went with just one single mechanic, basically one single button, because before we were just having this, and now we have all of this, which is very very fun. So all of this was just in paper, but the next thing that we did is we create a very quick prototype. Basically, we create a playground where you can test all of this. And I think for now, I would like to ask Emilio if you can share your screen, and maybe you can share the playground that we created, so everybody can see these little prototypes that we created.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen.
Amazing.
There it is.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go very quickly on showing a little bit of this. Also, feel free to join Victor or Dave to add anything.
Yeah, well, this is a prototype we made based on the discussion we had on the Byte. There's a couple things that don't work anymore because we have changed so much since then. But yeah, the main idea started with making the Byte feel more like something that gives you feedback. So we started just with this cube, and well, there's you're not grabbing the controller, so you cannot feel the haptics, but the idea is that you you get like a response from biting things, and then we started to make like the rest of the objects. This you can bite and destroy. This stuns you if you bite it. Heals.
Yeah. As you can see, already we have a bunch of extra things that you can do with the Byte. Because before, again, it was just curing one of the characters. Maybe you can cure Hades. I think Hades is over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can buy the characters that are humanized. Well, Hades is not a human, but you know, he's a regular dog, not a zombie dog. After you bite it, he turns into a zombie, and then he starts like following you. But now there are so many possibilities that we can use with the Byte, and you know that will make the experience way more rich than before.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, then
all of
we
this.
started to look more into the enemies. So we made like all the possibilities of what could happen when you bite one. This one gives you a knockback. This one damages you. This one stuns you. This one creates like some goo around it that slows down other enemies.
That's fun.
This one has no less damage, just a knockback. This one applies a special effect in which you can make more damage when the enemy is weak.
Basically, you change the status effects for an enemy or anything. Could be anything.
Super knockback.
I like the super knockback. That is so fun.
Yeah, those. Yeah. I think those were the funniest ones.
Yeah, you can grab and throw an enemy too. The throw is not working with this enemy right now, but I will show it with this little guide later. And these are different effects that you could get from biting enemies, like extra damage, speed, or HP.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the cool thing about this is that the system is already there. The guys already created the system and the code. And then we can choose if we want to add those effects on objects or enemies or stuff that you find on the levels. So that's also giving us a lot of cool opportunities to experiment with just the Byte.
I imagine this was possible by breaking the first rule of what the Byte could do, and before it was just limited to okay, Byte is for like just turning others into zombies. But this gives you possibilities of like expanding so much more on what it actually can be beyond just like the basic zombie mechanic, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and right now, again, we're not limiting to do a thing or not. Like, we are just exploring. This is an exploration phase, and the more that we create, the more ideas come to us, and maybe there are some of these that wouldn't into the game because they probably don't fit anywhere or they don't have any purpose. Again, how we're picking these mechanics is thinking about the most important part that we're right now discovering, which is the fun. If the mechanic is fun, then we probably will expand on that. And also, well, it needs to tie with the zombie theme and utility and all that. But again, all the our characters are going to be zombies, so they will all have the ability to bite. And with this is not just biting humans, but they also interact with environments. They can solve puzzles. They can do a lot of things with this.
Was there anything that surprised you, like along the way, like, oh my God, why didn't we think of this before? This is fun.
Well, I think for me it was very surprising that we can go so far with this. Like again, like before it was just one thing, and I don't know why, but we didn't explore more than that. And for me, it's like this is very interesting because again, it opens a lot of possibilities and opportunities for you to do things like right now. What we're doing is ingredients, and it's like making a cake. The more ingredients that you have, the more creative that you can be, and the more interesting choices you can do. So, yeah. I also love that mechanic for me was one of the greatest ones.
The throw, grab and throw?
Yeah, the grab and throw. We already had another test that we put into a level with a bunch of these characters, and one of the ideas was that it's like playing pool, right? You hit a ball, and then the ball hits another ball, and then we put that into a test. It was very fun. I think we had like 50 bouncing enemies before the game crashed, and it was just doing that was fun enough.
It sounds exciting. And any of you dev team thought like, okay, this was also something that I loved when we were exploring, like one other way of interaction?
Uh, Basically, the throw for me will be like we can make lots of small puzzles or ideas like of how handling the word with the throw and the grab. So like the idea is to use this both to affect the word, and doing that will affect like things more than just combat. So I think
Right.
this is where like the true shine is.
Mm-hmm. Right, it can even help you like through some hazards or something like that if you can throw something
Yeah,
at it or
or
move something out of
maybe
your
like
way.
for instance you throw like a robot on like I don't know like a motor, it breaks, so like it makes like everything do a curse circuit nearby that motor, for instance. So like everything in that area takes damage, so you already like create a hazard for the enemies, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
just by throwing things.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be fun.
yeah, and also the idea that you can affect other stuff, not just the enemies. Like for example, here I'm just showing some of the hazards that hazards are there for making your life harder and bother you with punching you like this hammer here. But we were thinking like maybe if they're like made uh, like they're not robots, but you can let's say a plant that shoots you or do something like you can still bite them, and then you can turn them into a zombie plant, and then maybe that gets the zombie virus, and then instead of hitting you or attacking you, it could attack the other enemies, and that also was very interesting for me to discover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be fun to explore. Um,
Yeah.
cool. Was there anything on the other side that you thought like, oh, this just would never make sense? Or you have not actually discarded any of these possibilities?
Mm, I think that's an interesting question. For now, we're not limiting ourselves. There are some things that maybe doesn't add too much, and there are other things that are very specific for specific situations. And again, like all of these things need to be tested with context, right? Not just playing on.
Right.
Because right now it's just building the systems and everything is working now and makes sense. But let's say the grab and throw, we need to make a scene or like a situation where you use that properly, and then you really feel that that's a unique thing that could have potential. So for now, I think it's worth to explore as much as we can, and then we can decide later if we can, scrap some of these ideas.
Yeah.
But I know Pedro, you was gonna say something.
Yeah, I would just comment on things that like makes no sense like as gameplay wise. Like let's say like for instance, biting for two stun makes not that much sense because
Hmm.
if the bite is already dealing damage or applying stats, it don't need to do stats. Or if the thing is already stunned and you're biting, you're supposed to be like executing. Like it's when like just like how I say in the context it don't make sense, but like it might be make sense to stun some enemies with the bite by itself. Makes sense what I'm trying to bring more or less.
Yeah. Yeah, totally,
Yeah,
totally. That
that
one
makes
looks
sense.
fun though, what Emilio is doing right now. Like super strength with
Yeah,
the bite.
I think Victor did this, right? I know,
Yeah.
Victor, you wanna elaborate a little bit on this?
Yeah, this was something that we talked about like dragging objects or moving objects with the bite. With spoiler alert, we might be using in the future. But one thing I did want to mention about all of this exploration is that, like Jordi said, we were very surprised about everything that we could do and everything that we could achieve just by letting all our ideas pour into the game and see what happens. And instead of talking about it and like thinking about this could work, this doesn't work, or whatnot, we put it everything to a test. And one of the things that we're gonna do for the future, and especially since we've been doing this already, is that instead of just talking about what works, what doesn't, is actually tangible testing of
Right.
will this work? Well, I don't know. Let's put it to the test
Mm-hmm.
and see if it works.
Right.
And I think that's the most valuable lesson that we got out of all of these tests.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah, good set. And another thing is that it's very important for us to test things. As Victor said, like we instead of just talking about it, we should test it. But another important thing is that we want to avoid adding stuff just for the sake of adding things. Sometimes adding more things to something that works doesn't mean that it will make it better. So we need to be very careful on the decisions that we make from now on. Like if we want to start with the bike, let's say, we really want to, polish it as far as we can go and add as much fun and response and feedback as we can go. But it doesn't mean that we will do like add just things for the sake of adding. Like we really need to pick our choices and we need to test those choices before adding it to the game. That's one of the issues that we have before. Like we want to make a super complex game that has like combat and abilities and superpowers and then the bite and that's why it didn't feel so well before because it just a bunch of things that if you think it separately they work but together it's just a mess. So that's why we're also taking step at a time and really uh, focusing on one thing at a time.
That sounds great. Well, you've done a lot already with your explorations, and I'm really excited. I know that you've already even started working on other things that we'll show on our next session live. But yeah, so far I think it's amazing how quickly you actually managed to do these explorations. It's so much that you guys put into this little like how would you call it, a sandbox?
Yeah, it's a sandbox
Mm-hmm,
playground.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
but
very
I mean, we spent 7 hours thinking about this, and we run out of ideas. But I think one opportunity we have by having these sessions with the external people and the followers, maybe we can ask them like, what do you
yes.
think about how we can use this by mechanic? Like maybe there are something that we're missing, or maybe some ideas that you have could be then turned into something that could end up being on the game. So yeah, feel free to share on the comments
Mm-hmm.
or in the chat whatever you think
Yeah,
we
exactly.
can explore with the bite. It should be interesting to hear your thoughts.
Yes. So far, I'm reading someone saying, "Love how he drinks the sodas." That's yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Just a caveat, this is just prototypes, it doesn't have any animation. But if this works well, imagine when we do a proper animation of drinking the soda. So maybe the character grabs the soda and then. Do you remember like Popeye whenever he it's the spinach that he throws it to the air? Yeah, we can do so many crazy things and fun things. But again, like we just need to figure out first with single mechanics and just cubes and stuff. But yeah, I agree. Like the soda thing is also an interesting mechanic.
There's also another comment. Maybe you can hypnotize other robots with your zombie saliva.
Yeah, maybe you
like
burp
you, but
and you
yeah.
throw a smoke and then you know
And then you
confuse the enemies
control
or something like
them.
that. That's also fun.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be fun.
that's another thing. Like we also start like thinking about the bite, not just a regular bite, but also it could be a wrap. It could be a, throwing things like a puke or saliva or whatever. So that also expands our possibilities and ideas.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, keep your comments coming. I'm gonna move on to the next section so that we can work
Yeah,
our time right. And
perfect.
let's move on to a little cinematic. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it, Jordi?
Sure. Uh, yeah. So the website is currently working on figuring out the mechanics and the systems and all of that. But we also want to do some progress on other sides of the game. And one of the things that we know that we want to add to the game is adding more 2D animated stuff. This game is going to be a combination between a 3D world, which is gameplay. Everything that you do inside the game is going to be 3D. Characters, environment, everything is going to be 3D. But we really want to use the tools of 2D animation outside the gameplay, and one of those things are cinematics. So we really want to highlight some moments on the game, like sequences or special moments, or whenever you recover a character, whenever you introduce a boss, whenever you kill the boss. Those moments could be very well expressed or shown as a 2D animation, because our animation is one of our biggest strengths, and we love to do that, and we also want to incorporate that into the game. So one exploration that we did recently was how can we make a very quick test of how a cinematic should look like. And the process behind that is that, okay, in the game, you will lose most of your family members, and at some point you will go and recover them, right? The cure bots will turn them into humans. They will spread out into the world, and then you need to go and chase them and find them, and then bite them, right? So the bite, every time that you bite a family member, there's gonna be a 2D cinematic where we show the zombie transformation of that specific character, and then we end up with a splash screen with saying that you rescued this character. So this first test, we did the cinematic for Blair, which is the daughter of the family, and we can share it with you. It's very rough. It's again just an animatic, but it already gave us a cool idea as how to proceed with this the cinematics. So
Awesome.
yeah, let's share it.
Here it goes.
Andrea.
There it is.
It's very short, but it's short and sweet.
It's really cute.
Yeah, again, this is just a test. Of course, you won't see the cinematic every time that you bite Blair because it's gonna be
A lot.
annoying. So it could be a lot, yeah. But it will be a nice moment for whenever you do this for the first time, right? And in the game, we will have like that specific moment for all the family members. So we will do similar cinematics for every character, and we got a lot of inspiration from Gumball, like the kids show, the animated show. There's a sequence there where they transform from animals to humans, and whenever we saw that, it's like, dude, we need to do the opposite way, like going from humans to zombies. That's where we took a little bit of inspiration, and I think it ended up being very, very fun. I think the plan is that we will continue developing this, maybe on the other Deadly updates, we could share more progress on this animation, because I can't wait to see it like fully animated with beautiful art, the final music. This is stock music, by the way. But yeah, this is a very fun experiment.
Yeah, I think this is really, really cute. And I would love to see the full cinematic, like turned into colors and all the details that I know you guys are experts at. So it's looking great.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
well, with this, I think we're closing the first session. As you know, we already had announced last year that we're going to start to share a little bit more of the process, just like this, being very transparent and allowing the developers to show us their work and what their constraints have been, what their solutions have been, and what other ideas are being built around the development of the game. So, yeah, thank you for joining our very first attempt of this. We're not like experts and we're not actors and celebrities that know how to speak in public. So, thank you for the patience on that with us. And I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you want to keep learning a little bit about this process, please always feel free to reach out to us. We have a Discord server, and I'm gonna let Jime take the lead on that one.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Jimena or Icepack or Grapekeeper. Like I have a lot of names, but in the Discord server, you know me as Grapekeeper. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. And also, we have a new video coming out right after this stream. So please go watch it on our YouTube channel. It's Animagic Studios. There you will learn a little bit in a more condensed form, a little bit more about the bite mechanic. We did this video in, interviewing our devs and then playing the playground ourselves and then, editing the video. And we just wanted to show you, like in a short form, exactly what we have been working on. This will be published in YouTube, but also in all our socials. So if you can share it with other people, that we would be very, very thankful. We want more people to join the Stay Dead server and to, share everyone's ideas for this game. I think it's going amazing. It's going to be a very unique game. So if we have more ideas from more players, I think that would be great. I think we can do the most unique zombie game out there if you can help us out. So yeah, thanks so much. And right after this, you can watch the video. Please like it, subscribe.
Thank you. Well, thank you,
See you
Jordi.
the next time.
See you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you,
See
guys.
you. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
Thank you, guys.